bags, clothes, perfume, burnt on purpose. It was not defective stock, absolutely perfectly sellable products in perfect condition. And when the story came out, everyone asked the same question. Why on earth would you burn 28 million pounds of products instead of just selling it at a discount? Here's the uncomfortable answer. For a luxury brand, a discount is more expensive than a fire. That sounds absurd, but it's actually one of the most rational decisions in pricing. Let me show you why. Louis Vuitton has never had a sale. Hermès, never. Rolex, Chanel, never. And I don't mean rarely, I mean never. No Black Friday, no January sales, no quiet outlet corner with last season's bags. To understand why, you have to accept something that took me a while to fully internalize even after 20 years of doing pricing for a living. In luxury, the price is not what you pay for the product, the price is part of the product. A $10,000 handbag doesn't nearly cost $10,000 to produce. Everyone knows that. The bag costs maybe $400 to make. What you are buying is the $10,000 itself. The signal, the scarcity, the fact that not everyone can have one. Economists call these Veblen goods, products where demand rises when price increases because the price is the point. Now think about what a little red minus 30% sticker does to that. It doesn't make the bag more attractive, it does the opposite. Because the moment that sticker appears, one question shows up in everyone's head. If they can sell it at minus 30 and still make money, what was the real price all along? And that question doesn't expire when the sale ends. The doubt stays in the room. Nobody feels cheated when pasta goes on promotion, but when a big part of what you are selling is the price itself, you can't cut it without degrading the value of the product. So who exactly would a sale hurt? 3 people. First, the client who bought last month at full price. A Chanel bag isn't just an object. For a lot of clients, it's an asset. Some of these bags resell above retail. The day Chanel runs a 25% promotion, every bag already in circulation loses value overnight. You don't do that to your best customers. Second, the client who was about to buy. Run one sale and you teach people that waiting works. That's not a theory. Ask any retailer who's tried to escape the promotion cycle. Customers don't forget a discount, they wait for the next one. And third, the brand itself. Here, there's a name worth remembering, Michael Kors. In 2013, a Michael Kors handbag cost around $400. It wasn't Chanel, but the premium of the brand meant something to customers. The brand had just gone public and the stock was the darling of Wall Street. That's when they pushed the bags into every department store in America, opened outlet stores, and ran promotions all year long. Revenue tripled in 3 years. Everyone was buying a Michael Kors because everyone could. That was the problem. The woman who paid $400 in spring saw the same bag at $220 at Macy's by autumn. She didn't come back. She went somewhere that wouldn't do that to her. The new customers learned to wait for the next promotion. And when you saw the bag on every other arm, it stopped meaning anything at all. They had 7 straight quarters of declining sales. The stock lost 2/3 of its value. The takeaway for your business? A luxury sale has 3 victims. Yesterday's clients, their assets depreciate. Tomorrow's client, they learn to wait. And the price anchor itself, Michael Kors, is the proof by counterexample. So what do you do with unsold stock if discounting is off the table? Mostly you make sure there is no unsold stock. Hermès produces fewer Birkin bags than the market wants on purpose. The waiting list isn't a supply problem, it's the product strategy. You control distribution. As little wholesale as possible, because the day a department store decides to clear your bags at minus 40%, your no-sale policy belongs to them, not to you. You raise prices instead of cutting them. Chanel's classic flap bag roughly doubled between 2019 and 2023. Most companies apologize for a price increase. Chanel announces it and clients queue up to buy before it lands. And when stock still piles up, well, you saw the Burberry option, although that one has aged badly. After the outrage, Burberry stopped burning in 2018, and France has since made destroying unsold goods illegal. So today, it's recycling, employee sale, discrete private channels, quieter methods, same principle. The product will never appear next to a red sticker. The takeaway for you? If you are selling premium, a discount is not your only lever for slow stock. Organized scarcity, distribution control, and price increases to protect the anchor. A discount destroys it. Now, before you walk away thinking, fine, I'll just stop discounting, let me tell you about the one company that tried. In 2012, the American department store JCPenney hired a new CEO, Ron Johnson. The man had just built the Apple stores, a genuine star. And Johnson looked at JCPenney's pricing. The endless coupons, the fake was $100, now $49, the permanent sales, and he found it dishonest. So he did exactly what I seem to recommend in this video so far. He killed all of it. No more coupons, no more sales, just one fair price every day. Sales dropped 25% in a single year. Nearly $1 billion in losses. Johnson was gone in 17 months. Because here's what he missed. JCPenney's customers didn't want a fair price. They wanted the feeling of beating the price. The coupon was the product. He hadn't removed a pricing tactic. He had removed the reason people came to the store. Hermès can refuse discounts because its full price means something. JCPenney's full price meant nothing. It was just the number before the discount. So no, the no-sale policy is not a trick that you can borrow. It only works if your price is doing a specific job. So the takeaway for you, the no-sale policy is a consequence of pricing power, not a source of it. Hermès earns it. JCPenney just declared it and hoped it would work. So back to that fire. 28 million pounds in flames sounds like vandalism. But from where Burberry was sitting, the alternative was worse. Thousands of trench coats at half price, teaching an entire generation of customers that the full price is optional. The fire cost 20 million pounds. Once, the discount would have cost them every year, forever. Next week, we push this one step further. Hermès makes you wait for years for a bag. Zara gives you 2 weeks before it's gone forever. Opposite ends of the market. And yet, their pricing strategies have a lot in common. That's next week. If this kind of analysis is useful to you, whether you're setting your prices or just trying to understand the world around you, subscribe to the Pricing Club. New video every Thursday. Thank you for watching. Take care.